Ready for live. Give me 1 sec. That's weird. For some reason, it's kicking me off my YouTube channel. Alright, now I think it's live. Alright, it's going. Hey everyone, what's up? So I just saw Black Panther, and just like I thought, it was amazing. So what I'm going to be doing now, I only got about 40 minutes for a stream. So I'm just going to give my rough impressions of it. Maybe I'll do a more detailed introspective, I guess, later. And I'm going to attempt to draw the mask. And I don't draw people enough. So I can't guarantee it's going to look any good. Got quite a few references. Which yeah, I finally saw Black Panther, which for me, seeing a movie this soon is actually pretty fast. I usually wait till Tuesday for the special tickets, but Black Panther is my favorite Marvel character. So, and I do have free tickets saved up. Yeah, I'm just gonna be drawing like the mask itself. Not a full body sketch. I only got a little while. probably should have looked up references first, because a lot of the ones I'm finding have him against like a dark bluish grayish background, which with an almost all black costume makes it hard to read the details. See, is the stream holding up? Might be. Yeah, so the movie was actually very solid. And I think it might be my favorite Marvel movie as of yet. And what I really like about it is it feels very self-contained. By that I mean, this doesn't necessarily have to be a Marvel film, first and foremost. And it stands alone on its own a lot better than a lot of the other Marvel films, which I like most of the Marvel films. Let me just look up the mask, maybe that'll help. Mm. But no, this one felt very much of its own. And the story is much more self-contained, to take place mainly in Wakanda. Again, it does go a lot of other places. It goes to South Korea, California, but those moments are much more far in between and aren't necessarily too long. But again, there's a lot of good in this film, and I'll start with the good. Like, one thing I think that's gonna stand out above all other Marvel films is the villain in this, which that's always been the weak point of most Marvel films, but they have been getting slightly better. In this one, Michael B. Jordan, he plays Killmonger, and he's easily like the most compelling Marvel villain we've had so far. Where I don't want to get into spoilers because everyone should see this movie. It is a like, even not just as a Marvel movie, as a movie as it's in itself. Hmm. I think I made the head too large at first. Yeah, without giving too much away, Killmonger, played by Michael B. Jordan in this, he's a very like, smart and charismatic villain. Especially compared to what we've seen. And his motivations, like for overthrowing Wakanda, are very believable. It's coming from a very believable source. And a good chunk of the movie is actually dedicated to T'Challa, the Black Panther. I can't pronounce the actor's name, well, last name, Chadwick Boseman, I believe it's pronounced. And I'm gonna be pronouncing names wrong a lot in this. I'm horrible with names. Yeah, a lot of the film is him trying to come to terms with his father's death. And of him taking over the throne. And it is very faithful to the comics. Like, again, the Najaba tribe is in there. The heart-shaped herb is used. And that's better. Yeah, the head was going slanted on me. Then Mboko, the great gorilla, challenges him, Black Panther, to the ceremonial fight, which I think that's like the great something great about this film is that it does actually do a lot of world building of Wakanda. You get a great sense of this country from what they show you. And you get a sense of their technology, their culture. Yeah, he's got these. characters are wrong people. And you do see how they interact with the outside world, how their politics work and how their like views work. And the casting is another great thing in this film, where everyone does their job, everyone performs very well. And there's a lot of great chemistry. Where and I think my favorite character in the film was Akeya, the royal bodyguard. Mostly because she is so badass in this film. And who was she played by? Let's see. Denai Guerrera, I think it's pronounced. Again, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce anyone's names, so I tend to do it wrong. And Lupita Nyong'o, she played Nakia, T'Challa's sister, the tech advisor. And she had great chemistry with Chadwick. Yeah, I do believe that they were actually like brother and sister. The way they played off each other. And it's yeah, it did feel much more self-contained compared to Marvel films because there were there were little, if any, references to other of the Marvel Universe MCU movies. when you saw Thor Ragnarok, they did have Doctor Strange appear to establish it was more of a cinematic universe. But here we didn't. At least as far as I'm aware, there was no references. Yeah, that feels way too. Me getting closer. Yeah, and like my biggest complaint for the film was I feel it was too short, and that I would have liked to see more developed. Because there are some scenes I feel kind of rushed. I would have liked to seen extended, like a few, not much. Just if they got like, I want to explain it, but I don't want to give any spoilers. But yeah, if this, like, if the film was, if there was like 10 or 20 more minutes spread out dedicated to the development of T'Challa taking over the role of king, I think that would have helped improve it quite a bit. That's good. And I'll paint those in. kind of got a broken nose. Let me... And I think one complaint some people will have is the action in the film, which, don't get me wrong, there is like some really good action. And my favorite action in it is actually the scenes that are more played down, where not the big one with the big jumping around, or where they're fighting this large group of enemies, or the climax for that matter. It's more the actual, like, combat fights T'Challa has when accepting challenges. Because it feels much more real. And it's similar to the fights they had in Daredevil first season, where it feels much more like gritty and painful because it isn't like so over choreographed. Now it just feels like people honestly fighting. And you like feel the punches or the stabs in these scenes. Where, again, the climax, in all honesty, is rather dull, especially compared to other Marvel films, which, again, I get what they were going for. They were going for a much smaller scale sort of story, not some grand intergalactic epic like Guardians of the Galaxy or Thor. Again, without giving too much away. There we go. Pick those up a bit. Put that back in. I'm gonna take a little liberty with this. I'm gonna draw it the way I would. Or at least experiment. Actually, no, yeah. I like it going around the ear. see. And the nose needs some of the decal on it. It's actually one other major complaint I do have that I feel is legitimate is the villain's plan in this seems almost overcomplicated, which, again, without giving too much away, the villain Killmonger is attempting to overthrow Wakanda and take control of their weapons and the vibranium they use in order to take over the world, which, and he has this well, I wouldn't say necessarily complicated, but again, he has this plan using Claw, stealing vibranium that he doesn't really need to steal for some reason. Again, his whole plan seems to have just so he can get Claw in order to enter Wakanda, which he could seem fully capable of entering Wakanda on his own to do what he wanted to do, where he could have just gone straight there. But instead, we spend an hour following this plot of his. Jeez, what am I gonna do with this nose? So yeah, let me. Yeah, something like that'll work. Let's try adding color. Time being, we'll do this. Lower the opacity so we can see. Zoom in. Let's try the pen. That usually has crisp lines. Increase stabilization. See, that's working okay so far. Gotta do more to break up the face, though. And get some yellow. But again, Black Panther was a beautiful looking film, very well made. Very well acted, very well written. Oh. Oh, damn it. Keep hitting the wrong button. Yeah, go see it if you... Again, if you're not into the Marvel films, or not that, if you're not much of a sci-fi fan, I should say, because again, it stands alone on its very well, but again, there still are a lot of sci-fi sort of elements in the film. So, and if you are okay with those, then I say go and support this film because it is very well made and very enjoyable. Honestly, my biggest complaint is that it felt too short, which that's a good complaint to have for a film, which is much better than it saying it felt too damn long. Get way in there. Eraser. Dang. Keep forgetting. Yeah, let me thin this line a bit. heck? Just a chunk of the ear. And let's experiment a bit. Let's get highlight. Let's see. And it's way too dense. And actually, let's do highlights on a separate layer again. Say highlights. I'm gonna have to play around with this for a bit. Let's try shadow. Ooh. Way too dense. Alright, well, let's go for a base. Because I gotta start going. I'll continue this later. Maybe I'll record an actual review and then play it over the drawing. Two birds with one stone. Yeah, okay, so till next time, everyone. Again, if you like to watch people draw or fail at drawing as I do, please subscribe. I do these almost daily. I'd like to build up a following so I can get people to actually talk to while doing this. And that's